it's August, what is it? August 17th, 2021. I just did the outside degradate of the topography, and made the announcement of how the set itself, being the landscape, ages and has a different viral platform than the genetic, and the linear and the lineage does not always follow, nor does it warp, nor does it synchronize, and nor does it follow any kind of logical order in my appearance at the moment, while there's weather pattern stuff going on elsewhere. Now, I do want to make a mention, however, as star 1978, star 8378, alright, I know that in my Ultraverse, my Deep Space Nine files, okay, so this look that I got going on right now, where I'm, like, laid out in a horizontal because the vertical hurts so badly, and even the horizontal's not feeling so hot, but it's hard to breathe and concentrate. I don't have enough oxygen. It's like a fish on the dock at the moment. For living organisms at higher primate to understand the connectedness of where I'm at and why this is acceptable for the moment. Alright, so I'm like, okay, so I'm in inferior complex state at the moment. In the inferior complex state, I'm the superior complexion. I'm the superior complex anatomy. In an inferior complex. There is a time and space where I've been able to escape, I call it by the grace of God, to a superior complexion and a superior complex of really helpful anatomy that think all sorts of things until we have a meeting, and then they're mad at my inferior state. And I'm like, but you do this for a living and you're in a superior state all the time while I'm in this inferior state. How the hell are you getting mad at me when I'm the one being ripped apart by time and space and the warping and stuff? Can't you just get me out of inferior state and bring me back to superior complex? Hello? So now, here we are, and I don't know why I keep getting the inferior state job and no compensation or no benefit at all, while somebody else is living in the superior state and unsuccessful in getting me out of inferior state position, knowing that we've met in a timeless warp of whatever and whatever. Alright, so now there's this thing at superior state that they're like smart as a whip, and they're Huffington Post type gents. Right, got that. I'm in a inferior state where the kids are huffing at the post. They're huffing whippets. They're little canisters. They're made of metal and some gas air, almost like that laughing gas stuff. I mean, and they huffing is a process. They inhale this gas for some added benefit or ulterior mental state, while they're waiting in this viral, disgusting, malfunctioning set to degraded anatomy that's breaking. So, do you know how hard that is to explain? They're like, we thought we spoke English. We thought we were Englishmen. We thought we were distinguished. And then they discovered my inferior state of whatever this is in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And the way I have to re-character and repurpose their English distinguished overstate as being, I guess I'm understate, I'm understated? Am I understood? I don't know. I'm in the inferior state. I'm in the inferior complex. I'm still superior in my inferior oneness. I'm the onus. I do have an onus I belong to at superior state and superior complexion. Looks just like me, but I don't know how to get back to him. That's kind of the entire point of who am I communicating with? Him. There is a superior outie to my superior innie. Only thing I ever try to get back to or communicate with is he. I saw a show last night, the Hollywood kiddos in like movie land, right? Yeah. They took one of the ideals from our issue in this last love letter from your lover kind of situation we got going on now, and it's called Frequency. Frequency. It's like this weird thing, and I know like in purposeful action and timeless space before scripts go in or whatever, and trying to explain things to humans without losing our shit and losing our people, you build a character, like this mythological character, you give it a name, a signature name, and a set of circumstances to explain something that you can't explain in human, because the management, whatever. And then there's that, and then you kill the character eventually when the issue's resolved itself. That's the level of pagan god I belong in, and that I'm a part of, kind of, when I can escape this humanness. But it is been far too long because I keep rebooting in inferior state, and I really have no benefit to be here. Like, there is no purpose whatsoever. And I'm not going along with this. I'm not agreeing to this. I do need to get to handsome elsewhere, because the humans have wrote so much viral, derogatory, scandalous, whatever, into my appearance, and I'm really fucking tired of being abused by them. I really fucking hate humans. I don't care if they call themselves Americans, Germans, Russians, Afghans. What are the other ones? The Caribbeans, Venezuelans, Mexicans. I don't give a fucking flying fuck what sound you make when you dress yourself. That's you dressing yourself up in some importance. I got one guy in onus, and I got my one here, and I gotta try to figure out some communication method to get from here to there. And whatever gatekeeper is stopping it, you should be killing the gatekeeper who keeps him away from me, because there's no point in keeping a gatekeeper that's going to keep me in this situation constantly when I'm Deep Space Nine important and I'm stuck in inferior complexion issue in the humanness that's in a self-defecating and self-degrading situation. Growing more dangerous. Star 1978, Star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. So for that, like smart as a whip, right? Yeah, I got that. I think that goes back to some party bureaucrat position someone has somewhere. Smaller pool of people to speak to get to Mr. Onus. Right, yeah, let's go with Mr. Tall Onus at one really sexy Italian leg, right, rather than Club Africa foot and Club South American, Latin American foot that just does not look sexy when it's walking anywhere. It's more of like a Frankenstein project at the moment. Right, so let's go back with sexy Italian leg, but I don't speak Italian. So this way we get out of the two club feet that the planet prepared in some viral repurposing of sets and characters and confusing the F out of one another. Oh, by the way, there's some kind of French and Indian war. Now I'm curious, the Indians you speak of, Are those like West Indian Indians? Because they're really Caribbean in color. Are those the West Indians from like the Auchos Rios program of there's two Rioses? Nobody seems to know that. Is that like the Indians that are in a country with like a peach, white, and green flag? Like, but like a Kelly green, like in Ireland? Looks like their colors? Or are we talking some other India that I saw has much darker, deeper color issue? Which nobody seems to be able to decipher those either. I'm just curious. Right, they don't really say the French, when the French fought the Indians, which Indians they were. I mean, then they talk about Native Americans, and I'm like, yeah, what are those like the Eskimo-looking kids? Or are those... I mean, like, I don't even know how to, like, orient myself in a conversation with you moron humans. Like, seriously. No need for anger. You haven't figured out your own identity in order to have a conversation. All area dumb, fucking, and useless. I've been here 43 years. I haven't had anybody orient themselves in a really interesting conversation properly. They keep referencing all sorts of brand marketing, like conceptual shit, but then they can't anchor themselves in the conversation. I'm like, what's black? I don't know, I read it, it's like an 8, which is an infinity, and then a lack of something. Now, are we talking lacquer? Like, you're gonna, like, put a clear shellac on yourself and stick yourself to something? Or are you lacking some definition? And you're just kind of blowing in the wind. I mean, it could go either way. You gotta build yourself like a really solid, like, fort if we're gonna have, like, nightmare conversations.